Winter can wreak havoc on your skin. Hey, it's Kayla, and it's not just the weather, but as a new mom, I've seen my skin change in ways that I'm not too happy about. But that's where the Skin Center has you covered. Their most popular treatment is Botox because they're the best at it. They've been ranked a top 10 provider in the nation by Allergan Aesthetics, the makers of Botox. And their best facial is what I got. It's the HydraFacial. It exfoliates, extracts, and hydrates all at once. So save your skin from these winter blues and DM at the Skin Center MD on Instagram and mention code Kayla to get $100 off your first Botox or filler treatment or any skincare package.
Welcome back, gamers, to Budget Arcade, your number one free-to-play video game review podcast in the world. My name is Mark. I am the host of these off-week episodes. Typically go it alone, solo, and I give you what I've been playing, a little bit of video game news, video game release calendar stuff. And then in our main weeks, Jeff, Scott, and we all get together and we review a free-to-play video game. And sometimes it's like a roll of the dice. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's a garbage game. It's trash. It's a hashtag trash. And other weeks, the game's pretty good. So, you know, this is an off week, so you only get me. And I'm not reviewing a game. But today I'm gonna talk about something a little bit different. I was scouring the internet looking for some video game news that I could share with you all, and I got to thinking, what does each console exclusive calendar look like for 2022? And who's going to win the year? Is it going to be Sony and the PS5? Is it going to be Microsoft with the Series X and S? Is it going to be the Switch, Nintendo Switch, with their exclusive calendar? And that's really the only reason you own a Switch is for their exclusive. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of that. It's not going to be a long episode, but hopefully we can touch on some thought-provoking conversation, and I can get your blood boiling or make you roll your eyes a little bit when I tell you that, once again, Sony will win the year. That's my opinion. It may not be an opinion. It might be closer to a fact. But let's talk about Sony and their release calendar for year 2022 at least. So, and I'm not gonna touch on any games that are, releasing across all consoles. Like, there's a big one coming up here in a week, Dying Light 2, but that's being released on all your consoles, and so we're not going to touch on that. The first big release of 2022 for the PlayStation 5 is Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, which came out, I think it was back in 2017. But it releases on February 18th, and it is probably one of the most highly anticipated games in quite a while. And so it comes out in the middle of February, so we've got a few weeks. We're still a few weeks away from it by the time you listen to this. However, I anticipate it being top-notch. A great game. I've heard that some hands-on impressions have people saying that it improves on everything that the last game didn't do so well, and it takes exploration, up tenfold, and the story's great. And so, you once again are playing as main character Aloy, and I don't know much about the story beyond that. However, I just know that the story from the first game is continuing, and a lot of the same characters are returning. So that's on February 18th for the PS5. So we're starting out with a bang. PS5 got a great RPG, open world RPG right out the gate. And then on March 7th, Sony's releasing Gran Turismo 7. And it's been a while since we got a standalone Gran Turismo game, a new Gran Turismo game. And the Gran Turismo franchise is so huge, like worldwide. It's bigger overseas, not in the U.S., than it is in the U.S., but it's still a big game in the U.S. And so, some gameplay trailers that I've seen, I mean, it looks phenomenal. I mean, they always look phenomenal, but this one looks like you're watching TV of a street race, or a track, with the Formula One cars, whatever. And it looks incredible. I anticipate it doing huge numbers worldwide. So that's on March 7th. And then we have a new IP releasing on May 24th, a game called Forspoken. It's a Square Enix title, and it is supposed to be... let me pull it back up here. Forspoken. So it's a new magic focused open world IP that follows a character named Frey, who is a girl from New York City, and she gets transported to this fantasy world known as Athia. I've seen it compared to like an Alice in Wonderland type, and like just the locations and the environment just being just completely off the wall crazy. And then she learns how to wield magic and fight these magic creatures and whatnot. So Gary Whitta, who wrote Star Wars Rogue One amongst other films, and then Amy Hennig, who directed the first 3 Uncharted games, wrote the story for Forspoken. So pictures I'm looking at make it look really cool. I'm not much of a fantasy gamer, but might have to wait and see. But it's a new IP, and new IPs are always exciting. I love it when first party studios, Sony threw money behind Square Enix and said, hey, make us a new game, give us something new. And looks like they did, and we'll have to see how it goes. But that's on May 24th. So we're in the middle of the year. And then we have Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a Bethesda developed game. It's a timed exclusive for the PS5, so I'm pretty sure PS5 is the only one that's going to get it in 2022, because I don't anticipate it being released on the PS5 until fall, I think it was. But yeah, it was supposed to come out in 2021, and then it got pushed to 2022, and it's still on track. Could be a summer release, but I anticipate Sony's going to maybe early fall, late summer. And it's likely going to be the last Bethesda created game on a PlayStation console in quite a while, considering Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda last year. And so the Tanjo Gameworks is the developer, with Bethesda publishing it, and they're the team behind The Evil Within. I never played that game, but heard it was good. And it's first person. It's set in Tokyo, and supernatural type game. the kind of the tagline says, all the citizens of Tokyo have vanished, and it's up to the player to take the city back and uncover what led to this freakish encounter. So that's I anticipate that being a late summer, early fall release for the PS5, and then to finish out the year, which I don't anticipate it being until maybe an October, November release, but God of War Ragnarok, probably the most anticipated game that any PlayStation gamer is looking forward to. Everything makes it look great. It's the last God of War game in this story, and it's the last time we'll see Kratos, and it takes place 3 years after the last God of War game, and once again it's him and his son Atreus, and he's like he's a teenager now. He's got more abilities, and they're supposed to be battling the god of thunder, Thor. So yeah, those are your big releases for the PS5. They're your exclusives for the PS5. There's some other indie exclusives, but these are the big ones. These are the ones that people are keeping their eyes on. These are the games that will do big numbers. But then we have on the PS5, we also have, or not just the PS5, but Sony in general. We have the PlayStation video game download service, codenamed Spartacus, that's supposed to release in the summer. And so Sony's got a big year ahead of them. Two really huge titles in Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok. And, and then the Spartacus service. And so they've really got a good year that laid out for them. And depending on, how well this Forspoken game does, they could be set up for a while with these games. So PS5's looking good. Let's look at the Xbox Series X and their exclusives. And I'll give Microsoft credit. This year, pretty much all of their exclusive titles are new IPs, and that's exciting. That is really cool, and I'm really anxious to get my hands on probably a Series S. I'll probably do that here in the next month or so. But the first big new IP that's also a Series S and X exclusive, Redfall, which is a new IP. It's developed by Arcane Austin, who did the Dishonored games, and it's an open world mutated vampire that's also co-op. Most of these exclusives are going to be co-op in some way, because why would you own a Microsoft or an Xbox if you weren't interested in playing online? But the trailer made it look really cool last year. Some of the images I've seen, it looks fantastic. The premise interests me a little bit, and I don't remember if it's third party or first party, but let's see. It doesn't say. Oh, first person. It's a first person shooter. Okay, good. So that is that's the first big, and it doesn't have a set release, but what I'm looking at says summer 2022. So hopefully that's maybe late spring, early summer, not late summer. But then we have Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl, which releases on April 28th. And I never played the first Stalker game, so I'm not really up on my Stalker lore. But from what I understand, it's highly anticipated. It was announced, back in 2010. It's come under a lot of just development snafus. It was canceled. It was announced in 2010, and it was canceled in 2012, and then it was re-announced in 2018. And so it's developed by GSC Game World, and it's supposed to release on April 28th, 2022, and we'll see how it does. But it's going to Game Pass on day one, so if you're a Game Pass subscriber, look out for that. Then we have Scorn, another new IP, slated to release in October 2022. It is a first-person horror game that says it focuses on immersing players in its environment, and the game's story plays out in a non-linear fashion. That if that's up your alley, then this might be just your game. But it's developed by Ebb Software. They're a Serbian game developer, and this game classifies itself as a first-person biopunk survival horror. So that's a lot of words. Biopunk survival horror. That's a new genre, I guess. But that's biopunk. I don't know if I agree with that. Because wouldn't that be like BioShock would be biopunk? Like, what is biopunk? I don't know. I don't understand it. But Scorn, it's slated to come out in October. It's a new exclusive, new IP on the Series X and S. So get ready for that. And then probably the most anticipated game for the Xbox this year, hopefully this year, is the new Bethesda open world IP, Starfield. And I know a lot of people are just gearing up for that. It might be a console seller, I don't know. I mean, if it's as good as the trailer, the teaser trailer released for it made it out to be, it's really exciting. Bethesda has nothing but great stuff behind them. And so it's slated for late this year. Hopefully it makes that. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed back, because that would be super disappointing if it didn't release this year and was an early 2023 release. But I think the Series X and S have enough new stuff to really get more gamers to play on the Xbox console. And I mean enough people play on it. It's just, there's a reason for new IPs, and that's to offer something new first and foremost, and then to get new gamers. Microsoft maybe thought to themselves internally, they're like, man, how do we like edge our way into the PlayStation single player market? Because that's what PlayStation gamers are. They're single player. They're story based gaming, not so much co-op or multiplayer. And so maybe Microsoft was like, hey, let's create some new games. Let's make them story based. Let's make them single player, and see what kind of numbers they do. Now, Scorn. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Redfall, it's co-op, so probably right in Microsoft's wheelhouse. But Starfield is where I think Microsoft's going to see a huge return, and that alone makes me excited for Microsoft's year. And they've got some other indie titles, and Game Pass is just chugging along, just cleaning house, adding more and more games each month. And so if you're not a Game Pass subscriber and you play on the Xbox, man, what are you doing? Get on it. So that was the Xbox exclusives for the anticipated exclusives for 2022. Now, Nintendo Switch. And Nintendo's 2021 wasn't great, I don't think. they sold a ton of consoles, and they're by far the leader in console sales. But their first party titles, exclusives that released in 2021 weren't really anything to write home about. Looking it up real quick, and we had Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I didn't play that. We had Monster Hunter Rise, Bravely Default 2, and that was pretty much it. I mean, this article I'm looking at, Tadpole Treble Encore, which was a Switch exclusive for 2021. Like, what? Nintendo, they also released like a remake of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and so that sold pretty well, I think. But so, what's coming on the Switch in 2022? Well, looking at their anticipated calendar, might be pretty good. They might have one of the best exclusive slates this year. And it's started. It's already begun. They've already launched one of their big titles for the year in Pokemon Arceus, which released last week and has gotten rave reviews. I'm excited to play it. I haven't played it yet. I'm just waiting on it, and I've seen people say that this is the best new Pokemon game since Red and Blue, which, I mean, we're going back almost 30 years for that. So that's high praise, but it's open world. It's more open world than the last open world Pokemon game, which was 2 years ago. And, I've seen it compared to kind of Breath of the Wild-esque, where, just you go wherever, do whatever, just do your thing, fight Pokemon, collect Pokemon, trade Pokemon, go on quests, explore, find new things, battle people. I mean, just kind of whatever you want to do, and the gameplay looks great. I'm excited to play it, and I'm sure it's already sold like gangbusters. So that's Pokemon Arceus. It's out now for the Switch exclusive. And then the next exclusive Switch exclusive we have is Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is slated for sometime in the spring. I looked for a release date, couldn't find one, and everything I read said sometime spring. And so if you're a Kirby fan, kind of a platformer, it's probably right up your alley. I'm not a Kirby fan. I haven't played a Kirby game, standalone Kirby game, since probably the Game Boy. And we're showing my age there. And then we got Splatoon 3, which is slated for the summer. And if you're a Splatoon fan, this is probably something that makes you excited. Multiplayer game, cartoonish shooter. Splatoon, the first Splatoon did really well. I don't know what kind of numbers Splatoon 2 did, but I don't think it was as highly regarded as the first one. And so hopefully Nintendo went back and retooled some things, and Splatoon 3 will be even bigger and better. So that's sometime in the summer 2022. And then we have Mario plus Rabbids Sparks, which says it has a March 2022 release. I don't know how accurate that is. I could see that being more of a summer title as well. And so then, and I've never played a Mario and Rabbids game, so I can't really speak on that. But I know a lot of people love it, and it is a anticipated title. And then, to everybody's speculation, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 will release holiday 2022. That makes sense. That jives with with kind of the 5-year calendar that Nintendo keeps themselves on for, their big exclusive first party IPs. We typically get a new Mario game, standalone Mario game every 5 years. Zelda's kind of been on the 5 to 7 year. We usually get one Zelda game a console, and so Breath of the Wild was a launch title for the Switch, but it also was released together on the Wii U. So, you can take that for what you want, but I think it was originally built for the Wii U and then was ported to the Switch, and probably just upscaled and whatnot. I could have that backwards, but I think that's what the case was. This game is being built exclusively for the Switch, the new Switch, the Switch OLED, with the enhanced graphics and everything. So I could see it releasing. I could see us getting the Nintendo show, in the summer, where they announce a release date, they show off a bunch of gameplay, and we get late November, early December release. That would be awesome. I would love that if that was the case. I'm not holding my breath. That's because to bookend the year with Pokemon Arceus and then Breath of the Wild 2, very, very similar type games. They're not, but they also are. Maybe Nintendo's turning a new leaf and is trying to give us all the games we want. But I could see them foregoing 2022 and it being a early spring 2023 release, because I believe the first Breath of the Wild released in March 2017, maybe 2016. 2016, 2017. And so I could see it. But, the Switch is doing great. They don't need to rush anything. They're still selling, Switch consoles like crazy. And, I could just see them taking their time with Breath of the Wild too. So that's those are your three big consoles. Oh, 3 only consoles, but those are your release calendars for your first party exclusives. What do you think? Who wins the year? Is it the PS5, the Xbox Series X, or is it the Nintendo Switch console? You can let us know on all the socials at Budget Arcade. At Budget Arcade Games. You can also join our Discord. We have a Discord that the link will be in the show notes. That you can join up, and we'd love to have you. We spend time in the Discord talking all things video games, movies, television. We got a new channel. It's the Wordle channel. There's no telling how long that's going to be a thing, but right now that's the big thing across the internet. So we're talking Wordle, another free to play game. Maybe we should review that one, Scott. If you want to help the show and throw some money at us for doing such a great job and keeping you entertained, you can join our Patreon, patreon.com/budgetarcade, and you'll get exclusive Patreon channel access in our Discord. You'll also get exclusive content availability, and you get to interact a little bit with me, Jeff, Scott, Elliot, and whoever else has been on the podcast, behind the scenes, and get a little bit of exclusive access that way. Our music is provided by Stimage, and you can find his music at metroidmetal.com. And next week, we are playing... what is the name of this game? Elder Scrolls Legends. It's a free-to-play card game. Elder Scrolls Legends. I think that's the title. It just says Legends on my app. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll be reviewing that next week. And you can, if you play along with us, you can leave some commentary in our Discord in the commentary channel. We'll make sure we get that read on the pod when we review it. And we'll catch you all next week.